Hey everyone. Oh, blimey, that's a bit bright for you. There you go, that'll do. Oh, that's lovely. Right, okay. So, welcome to the big long process of transforming this seemingly plain planner into something chunky, beautiful and lovely. And oh, I don't know why I stopped using, well, I do know why I stopped using this. But yeah, I'm going to make something, I'm going to make one a little different because obviously it's going to be different washi tape. But let me just show you what I decided to use for my tabs. This, wow, that's really bright, isn't it? Just turn down a little bit. This camera picks up the colours beautifully. But yeah, I've printed off 2 of those so far. These are going to, it doesn't look like, okay, so what I do is I print off as big as I can this image so that it picks up, I've got different colours here, and this is sort of going to set the theme for my tabs. And if you, it'll make more sense if I, once I've cut them out, lay them out and then I'll show you. But I printed off these tabs on here, which you probably can't see very well right now. But the tabs on this, when I printed them out, when I printed the artwork out to use for them, it was a big sheet of A4 artwork by Robin Marie. I think that's her name, yeah. And I kind of punched the tabs in very specific places. So what I need to do for this, because it just, so for example, this will just punch here. It will literally just punch out a tab. Now I can still go with that, or because it's going to be plain at the back, what you need to do is, if you're going to go for something like this, I'm just going to experiment on this. If you're going to go for, just trying to figure it out now, because you have to have, so yeah, sorry, I had to think there. My brain wasn't engaged then. So if I'm going to go for, so I'll position the tab. Can you see properly? So what you want to do is, let's just do this. And then the brightness adjusts, but anyway, yeah. So what you want to do, if you've got a tab punch, find, see, that's beautiful there. Or even, I really love that purple, you know. So you can do that. And I mean, really you should do it sort of on the fold, but this still works. So I've just punched out 2 and look at that. So really, I mean, what I can do is I don't even have to fold it over. I can just punch out loads and loads of tabs, stick them together, glue them together, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to laminate this. But I have, that's a nice one, I'm going to keep that. I might actually punch some of these as well. The colours are really beautiful in this. I could actually print out an A4 piece of this. Hang on. Yeah, sorry. I've got to just, when I hold things up to the camera, I've got to remember that it's going to be adjusting the colour and stuff. So I need to remember that. So yeah, I could print out, so let's just see. I wasn't actually going to divert like this. I'm intrigued because it looks totally different as a tab. So like you move, you can position it around. So I really like, it's going to be interesting because each tab is going to have the swirls going in maybe different directions. See, that's really nice there, like that. But then you're going to have some, let's just get rid of some of this here, because the tab won't go all the way in. I need to get rid of, so I've really gone down a little bit of a rabbit trail. I was just going to introduce how I was going to do the tabs, but yeah, so that's a really nice one there. So what I need to do is just make, I obviously need to, Oh yeah, that's nice, like that. That's a nice one there as well. So there's that. These tabs are going to look really good. You can have loads of different, you want to try and cut them as close together so that you don't waste your paper. That's really lovely. And then what I wanted to show you is you, with the artwork, what's the hair? Just move this hair out of the way, it's going to annoy me. Yeah, so if you position it somewhere else on the artwork, you're going to pick up different colours. Oh look, you can do a cross section like that, and then you're going to get, so that will actually, oh that looks, so it looks totally different. And then what you want to do is you want to figure out which ones are going to be your forward facing ones, and then when you do that, the next thing you want to do is, sorry, I've just got loads of stuff that I've printed off for work. So what you want to do is you want to print out some month, you know, print out the months. I've done it so it's in lowercase and uppercase just to see what works, and obviously I think it's going to be all the uppercase that's going to work, as I did with this here. I've not actually made them too big. I think that's just the right size. I didn't want to take up too much of the art. I just wanted it so you could just see at a glance which month is which. And yeah, so I'm just going to cut these out and then glue them on top here. And then yeah, so then a lot of the artwork is showing. I'm not going to cover up too much of it with those. And then glue them together and laminate them. So that's how I'm going to be making my tabs. So I'm going to be doing that. It's so colourful and beautiful. In fact, I really am tempted to, I might not need to print off. I need 18, I need double that actually, because of the reverse side. So we'll see anyway, see how I go. And then you can see how the ribbon is just going to look beautiful. So there's the tabs, and then I'll be moving on to the washi tape. This is the longest process. It does take a long time. I'm going to try and do it all in one go because I just want to see what 18 months worth looks like. I might just do 12, we'll see. So I thought that the colours in these were beautiful and they match my artwork. And when you obviously use tapes that are of somebody else's art, well, I say that when it's artwork, or washi that has a mixture of colours in it, you're going to get a really unique and unusual effect every single time. So it's not like one block of colour, you know what you're going to get. Do you see what I mean? So in these washi tapes, these Jane Davenports. I will admit I'm not a huge fan of Jane Davenport, but I have these washes and they need to get used, and I think that the colours are just going to look really good. So I think I'll do that. And I thought about having with that as well something that's gold, so I need to find some washi. So for example, maybe something like this, but I think I need something that has a little bit more gold in it. So maybe this here, or a bit more gold. Now I do have this one, but the gold in it, it's not a very strong washi. It is like paper that's slightly tacky on the back. It's not going to stick at all. And I know I did say you can use a glue stick. However, this particular washi is not very good at all, so I won't be using that. I might, yeah, I don't really like the gold on that one, so I'm just going to go through my washi now. I know I have one in the house, so I need to go and grab that. That's got gold on it. I definitely want to use that. I've got one by Jo of Little Rainbow Moon. She has some beautiful washi tape. This would be perfect, in fact. And look how much it matches my circle. Ooh, I think I'm going to use a ton of this actually. Yeah. Right, so what I'm going to do is speed up some of the process and probably stop when I need to explain something. And yeah, we'll just play this by ear and see how we go. Okay, right. Making mistakes so you don't have to. Right, okay, it's all flooding back to me now. Right, so when or if you you want to add the tip-ins into whatever journal you're using, it's harder than it looks, but when you know the technique, it's easy, if that makes sense. And when you're doing page after page after page, you kind of get into a flow and into a routine. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to walk you through some of the tips which will make this a heck of a lot easier for you. Now, you want to have all your card cut out. I've got most of them, so I've got all of these here. I've taken off of the edges the washi, because obviously I took these out of the other journal, and so this is going to be my template to cut some more out. So that's my template, so I'll put that to one side. When it comes to actually sticking the tip-ins in, what you want to do is you want to line up your washi in the order that you're going to be putting them into your journal. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to have to get a few more pieces because I don't want to run out. Hang on a second. Where's the other one? I want that in there. I mean, at the end of the day, you want to make sure you have enough washi so you're not going to run out, so that it's not going to look different, if you know what I mean, at the end. But another tip to do, so once you have your washi lined up, and then so I take some from that one. In fact, which one did I use just then? It's not that one, is it? No. Where did it go? I'll find it in a second once I start up again. But anyway, so I've used this washi here. When you go to stick, because you need to washi tape both sides, I've used a different washi tape. I mean, it really doesn't matter which one I use. I was going to say use something, let me see what it looks like for you. Yeah, I was going to say use something plain, and I've not, but it doesn't really matter. When I say use something plain, use something that, well, you can use something plain because you're going to be doing artwork on here and you're going to be drawing on here, you know. So, I mean, you could even use sellotape, and that's a lot better, but you do need to washi both sides, otherwise it's not going to stay in properly. Put all your tip-ins in, and then you can address the extra bits on either side, because what happens is I'll trim it a little bit, so I'll trim off as close as I can. In fact, no, I think I'll just trim it all together. Actually, I don't know. Let's see. I do need to get a new, yeah, so it's beautifully rounded. Perfect. And I'll do that. That takes quite a long time in and of itself as well. I remember when I had to do that, once I finished putting in all the tip-ins, I had tons of all these little bits of washi tape. In fact, I think there's a post on Instagram from years ago when I did it. So yeah, so you want to make sure you use the one that you want to see on show on the outside, and then on the inside it doesn't really matter. It'll just matter to you, so just choose, and you can use the same washi if you want to. It's completely up to you. The next tip is, excuse the pun, I just want to line up my washi. Need to find where I put that other roll of washi tape. Quickly look, here it is. Right, so let me just line these up. I'm gonna go for, let's go. Let me just use this one anyway. No, I'm going to actually do this one. Excuse all the noise in the background. My next door neighbours are having an extension built. Right. Okay, so for the next page, let me just see if I can line this up perfectly for you. What I'll do is, I'm going to do it at an angle like that so you can see. If you really need to see and you're watching on a small phone, try and make it into a full screen, because what I'm going to do is, right, so when you go to washi tape, you can see how fiddly this is. When you go to washi tape this to this, what you want to do first of all is get your washi. So I'm going to use this one here. I have my mat down so I can see a little bit better. So let's see, that's been cornered, so I need to use this side. Doesn't really matter which way. So when you can just see through your washi, so you can see where it's, you know, half and half, then I'm going to cut it. Okay, right, I'm going to do this side first, because what you want to do is you want to line it up, obviously as best as you can, and leave, I don't know if you can see that, let me just washi tape that down, leave a really thin gap between your journal page and your tip-in. This allows for the hinge, you know, when you're folding it over. You really do need that slight slither of a gap there. Don't line the page up perfectly, you know, flush against the tip-in. So let me just zoom you in so you can see what I'm talking about, if you can't see already. See there? Oh, let's turn you up. That thin line there. And then what I'll do is zoom out a bit. Yeah, I'll next washi tape down in the middle, but I have to choose which washi to use. Actually, I'll just use this one for now. Doesn't really matter. Some washi is really cheaply made, isn't it? I just don't know what you're going to get. I need to actually find some plain stuff. That's because I used in here, this is quite wide, and I don't really want to use a wide washi tape because I don't want to take up too much space on my journal page. And also the reason why I wanted plain is purely because, as well, I don't know what the colour scheme of that week will be, and this will dictate, well, it shouldn't have to really dictate the colour. Just thinking out loud. Right, and then this, I just need to really sort of push it down, make sure it's stuck together. As I turn the page, I just run my nail down there. And then what you'll find is sometimes this is where really good washi comes in, or where glue stick comes in. Once you turn a page, really run, so that's not too bad, really run, push the washi tape down on both sides, just really give it. Now I've made these tip-ins ever so slightly shorter than the actual journal. As you can see here, it's on both sides really, but it's a little bit, there's a little, so it's not completely central, which is fine, that's not even an issue. Just as long as it doesn't stick out the top there, it's not a problem. If it can always undo the washi and then put it back in. So, oh, and by the way, don't worry as well when the washi tape covers up the numbers, because obviously we're going to be painting the page. And like in my other journal, let me just show you what it looks like here. So if I find a page that I've already done, look, it's all completely covered up, and I use half circles here. I don't know if I did it with all of them, probably did actually. Oh no, I didn't. But you can actually add the date afterwards. So we're going to paint over it all anyway, and then add the days or dates and days on there afterwards. But I mean, I can just see them anyway. Even if I couldn't, it's fine. I would know what date, which day is what date, if that makes sense. So I'm gonna, now this is gonna be the longest bit. I don't think it wouldn't even help if I fast forward it for you. I mean, I might fast forward a couple, but not all of them, because it would just be a really boring video. So yeah, I'll just record a couple of the pages that I do, and then I will, obviously that will be speeded up for you. Then we'll move on to the tabs and how we position those. I mean, it really is a fiddly job, but it's so worth it. So you're probably going to want to do this over a couple of days. Right, is that, see, turn that up a bit. There you go. Right, okay, I'm going to just do what I can now and then speed up the process for you. Okay, so I'm just going to film like this so you can see what I've done here. Right, we're on to the tabs. I have done up to January in my journal so far. It looks absolutely awesome. Don't know if you can see all the gold sparkle on the edges, but yeah, it looks really, really good. So happy with it. Now, I'll show you that better when the camera's up on the tripod, but what I just want to show you here is that I've organised the tabs, sorry, I've just eaten, organised the tabs into rows of 3. Let me see, turn that brightness down, there you go. Because on my other journal you can see only 3 at a time fit across, so then I have to start a new row, and I really wanted to see how they looked. And I've got a mixture here of my own art and someone else's art who I will link on Patreon. So I've ordered them I'll put them in the order that I want them, and then I will cut these out and then stick them on. So I'll start with July. Now the font was too small, so I did go up a size. I think that was 11 and I think this is 12. So I'm going to cut those out, stick them all on, and then we'll go from there. Okay, if I zoom in, it focuses. If I zoom out, it doesn't like it at all. So anyway, yeah, you can see I've oops, turn that up. Let's see. There you go. That's better. So as you can see, I have labelled them all. On the other side, trying to see what I'm doing while looking at the camera. So now I'm going to laminate these and then we'll move on to the next stage. Okay, we're back. Turn the brightness up. Okay, let me just put some washi down so I can make sure that I do this so that you can see exactly how it's done. Right, okay, now I have most of my tabs. Some of them I'm going to redo. I think that one needs redoing. I think there was a it doesn't really matter because I'm only going to put a few on now to show you exactly how it's done. So I need to do that one. I think February is going to be fine. And then there was another one that got crushed while I tried to punch them out. The punch wasn't having any of it. So what I need to do is July, June. Don't need June, do I? No, we're in July, aren't we? Yeah. So July, August. I think August was one that I need to redo as well. July, May, June, July, August, September. I think that one. Maybe that one. Oh, I just need to put them in order. So let me just grab September, October. That's November, that one. November, December. There ones. And then obviously we're going to those. Yeah, I think that's right. Okay, so can you see all those? Oh, you can. It's really bright, isn't it? Oh, it picks up the colours really well. Okay, right. So in here, I basically put January right up to there. Let me check where was April's. Hang on. Yeah. So what you're going to do is you are going to have 3 in a row. Well, if you're going to get the moleskin, it depends on your journal. I'm going to move that tag out of the way. So yeah. So when you put a tab down, when you put the next one in, line it up before you stick it down. And the way that I do this is I get a really thin, I wanted to say washi then. So I get a really thin double-sided tape. This is the perfect, I don't know what the thinness is, so to speak, but I know it's perfect for what I want to do. Just trying to make sure everything's in shot for you. If I just cut this off. Do what I can. That'll do. Oh, it's really sticky. Let me just get this on here properly. next side. Just want to make sure none of it is showing, otherwise it's going to stick to the paper. Just trim that end off. Okay, so the first one is always the most nerve-wracking when you're doing stuff like this. So what I want to do is, I think I'll just pop it in this one here, because I didn't put a tip in that one. It doesn't really matter. Now these, ideally, these would have been, what do you call it? Just make sure that's right. Yes, ideally this would have been, what do you call it? Sticky back plastic, because I find that it's just, saying that though, I mean, it's not that much thicker, it is slightly thicker, but because I'm using double-sided sticky tape, this should be good. We should be all right. So then we find our next page, so we want July, August. Obviously I haven't done the edges yet, so this will be for August. Do you know what it says? Yeah, I'll do it there. Yeah, August. Again, it's one of those really fiddly little jobs, but you just want to take like a day to do it. I'd say an afternoon. You need longer than an afternoon to do stuff like this. I think the easiest way to approach this is to have everything ready the day before, and maybe, you know, like have all your tabs, perhaps have your tabs done the day before, or at least printed and maybe cut out, and then print off it depends on what you're doing, because you might not do it exactly like this. You might have different ways of doing things, probably better way of doing things, if I'm honest. So right, here we go, August. So yeah, have everything ready the day before, what you can anyway. Right, so next bit we want to do is to grab, it's really hard thinking and filming at the same time, because I'm always conscious of, have I got this in shot? So what I want to do is literally make sure I get this in such a place like that. Yeah, so I look at it like that. Is it lined up? Yes. So I want to put that down about here. Cool. Don't worry if you don't get it exactly right. See, that could have shifted up a little bit. It's not a problem. But because it's like double-sided sticky tape, you can't move it. Ugh, doesn't matter. So July, August, September. Yeah, so it's, what do you call it? Hang on. August. September. Yeah, it's fine. Then I want, right, let's just, it's because I'm talking. I'm worrying that making sure I get everything in shot. So we've done the tip-ins with the washi, spoken about how you need to really have everything in order first. What order are you going to put your washi in? Have you got enough washi? You know, that's the main thing as well. If you run out, what's your alternative going to be? And then your tabs, are you going to buy your tabs? Are you going to make them? If you are, what are you going to use as the, you know, the paper to print it out, to cut them out from? Right, so, and obviously the paper as well. You don't have to use mixed media or watercolour paper. You can use cartridge paper or anything that you, anything you want. It's your journal. I'm just doing it the way that I know how and know what I'll be using. Right, if this is out of shot, I'm really sorry. I just really want to make sure I get, it's basically going to have to be, okay, so I'm just going to have to get it down there like that. And then we start, so September, October, which will be on this page here. So then we go back to this end here. See what I mean? So you've got, oh yeah, that looks good. Yeah, like that. Make sure it's all, there you go. See, again, that August could have been up there a little bit more. I can't really move it now. It's not, it's only like a fraction, but I'm like a bit OCD like that. Because it's sort of, make sure, okay, yeah, because it's going to be, it's not meant to be perfect because this is obviously, I'm altering a book, I'm altering a journal, and I'm going to be obviously adding way more pages than it's used to. So it's going to get stretched, it's going to get thicker, it's going to get paint all over it. It will get bashed about a little bit, I'm sure. So it's not meant to be 100% perfect, but yeah, it's just those little irritations, isn't it, sometimes, where you think, oh, if only I pushed up a little bit. So but that being said, yeah, I mean, I did it a little bit with that one as well, so it's not perfect, but wait till they're all in as well. It's going to look amazing. So I'm just going to do those, and then I will show you the finished result.